The defence team in the Durban Solid Waste unit corruption trial have started the cross-examination of their first witness in the case. Mbuso Ngcobo from eThekwini's investigating unit has been testifying over the last 2 days. We're joined now by our reporter there, Karinda Jagmohan. Karinda, good afternoon to you. We know that this is an important witness in this case. It's an important case. What's happened in court?
Good afternoon, Stephen. Well, like you mentioned, Mbuso Ngcobo has been testifying over the past 2 days. He is the head of eThekwini's City Integrity and Investigations Unit. So he's been explaining to the court how he received the first complaint about alleged fraud at the Durban Solid Waste Unit. He told the court that a person came to his office with a bundle of documents and a letter detailing this alleged fraud, but that person wanted to remain anonymous. So they left that office. They left the documents at reception and they left the office. Following this, an assessor at this office had to fill in a particular register when someone actually surfaces a complaint. So they filled in that register, but of course had to leave out a number of details due to the need for anonymity from this complainant. Now, over the past morning at least, Ngcobo has been telling the court that following this complaint being issued, he took to an external service provider to conduct a forensic audit because his office is under-resourced, and by January 2019 he then went on to open a criminal case with the police that was then taken over by the Hawks, and that ultimately culminated in the trial we're seeing now. He told the court that the city manager at the time was aware of these investigations. The city manager, Sipho Nzuza, is now accused number 3 in this case. He's no longer in his position at the municipality. Throughout this case, or throughout Ngcobo's testimony, the defense team began objecting just in terms of ensuring that Ngcobo's office indeed had the jurisdiction to actually investigate this complainant's case in terms of the bundle of documents he had. This because they want to see whether or not that complaint or Ngcobo's investigation of this complaint would come under question at court. Now, just this afternoon, the defense team led by Advocate J. Naidu began the cross-examination. The Advocate Naidu is the defense advocate for Zandile Gumede, among a number of other suspects. So he's trying to poke holes in Ngcobo's testimony, particularly because this was an anonymous complaint. He's questioned why various parts of the register was left blank by the assessor in terms of what the investigations would entail, among other issues, but Ngcobo maintains that they could not fill in this register to the T because the complainant was an anonymous person. So the cross-examination had to be cut short there because of time. It's going to continue tomorrow, and this now we're seeing the defense trying to scrutinize the first complaint about this alleged tender fraud. There are a number of details that will not be given by the state in terms of evidence because it might reveal the person's identity. So at this point now we're seeing how this case first started back in 2018, just in terms of the complainant coming to the office of eThekwini City Integrity and Investigative Unit asking for this alleged tender fraud to be investigated. Now, after cross-examination, we're going to see the state examine the witness once more, and following this, the second witness will be called. So we expect that to happen next week. That will be Raymond Rampersad, who's the former head of the Durban Solid Waste Unit, the entity around which this entire corruption trial and the alleged corruption, money laundering and racketeering actually revolves around. So we'll keep you updated as the trial unfolds over the next 3 weeks.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much indeed for that recap of what's happened on this day, through a day of the court proceedings in that trial.